Flex eyes up on her neck. Shutty.
Morioh Cho Radio. We love Morioh Cho.
What a beautiful Dwayne. Welcome to episode 3 of the Morioh Cho Radio broadcast. I'm joined by the Redwood Simmy. And Pokemon Master extraordinaire, Marcus.
Bruh.
Yeah, we got a lot to get to today. I don't know how long it's going to take. It might take regular time, but first thing we're going to start with, as per usual, is... Oh, by the way, if you're anime only, you're still safe for today. You're in luck. As long as you're caught to the anime, you're Gucci. If not, get the fuck out of here. So, what are my thoughts on the news episode that we saw?
It was whatever.
Listen, what did they call her? Spice Lady? No, Heat Lady or something? I can't remember what.
No, you got it right. It was Spice Lady.
I'm so mad.
I was like,
I'm tired of them with this bullshit. But yeah, listen, I actually like that moment in the manga when Trish was like, "All right, I'm gonna stop being useless." She put some work in. I enjoyed it, but I never really liked the concept and the stand of Notorious B.I.G. I never understood how. How would you know that's your power? Like, like you just fucking die, and then you stand out. Like, how would you know?
you wouldn't. You just die.
Make no fucking sense. Did it have another ability, but also when you die, it becomes automatic? Like, it has so many questions.
Nah, you just die, and then once you dead, it out. Like,
and then you just literally can't defeat it. It just doesn't die. It just fucking attacks ships and shit now if you move faster than the waves. Like, they really just fucking made, like, a dangerous ass place in Italy. Just like, yeah, if you just sail here, you're fucking dead. Jerks, assholes. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And Marcus, I'm guessing you didn't watch it.
No, but I did start it. So, like, we gonna get there. I'm fucking with my boy Koichi back. That's my bro.
Oh yeah, you guys start on 4.
Bro, I'm not watching part 4. I'm going straight to 5. I'm not watching part 4. He is my favorite villain.
Oh wait, you're right. Koichi's in the beginning of part 5. You're right. I forgot about that. Yeah. All right, you got it. Hey man,
Kid is my favorite villain. Kid is my favorite villain, but like, we gonna get there. I'll get to it another time. Part 5 out right now.
You really don't like part 4. That shit crazy to me.
That I don't like part 4.
He's lying. He's lying.
I wasn't interested by it. I just wasn't interested by it. Like part 5. Look, that was my favorite from the first half, and then everything from the train on, I was just like, yo, I can't. Why?
I am disgusted.
I loved part 4 for the first time. I was like, yo, this shit's fucking dope. Best cast. I fuck with this. My boy Mister. I got Sex Pistols. Yo, it's fucking lit. I have Kyle doing his thing. Kujo is an asshole. It's amazing. And then I'm like, nigga, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Shit. Why? What the fuck? Yo, just know that when the turtle comes through, boy, we lit.
You got it. Bro, but all right.
I'll fuck with that turtle. I don't give a shit.
My turtle low-key the MVP. You've been out here, but no work. Popular dimension head ass. But all right, let's start with the topics since we didn't really,
Hey, who said I was done talking about this shitty ass episode?
All right, go ahead.
For starters, I never liked.
Oh, y'all up to the train?
And then
y'all up to the train already?
Yeah, we've been past that.
Oh.
They've been past
that. We're on BIG, bro. We're on the plane.
Oh.
Alright, so I never liked Trish to begin with, and even when she developed her stand, I still ain't like her. So I'm watching the episode, I'm like, did she develop her stand yet? And then she fucking just did it second half. I was like, alright, cool. There it goes. She's whatever. Her stand is actually pretty raw. Because if utilized correctly, she's pretty invincible for the most part. Unless if it has a restriction of on actual humans and it's just objects. But even then, so you could just fucking punch her or whatnot. But if it's just objects, you really can't hit her at all. It's like, imagine trying to shoot this bitch and she fucking turns the bullets into fucking rubber, and they just fucking bounce off her. That would be pretty rough. But anyways, yeah, it's fucking. I actually, since this is my first episode watching Part 5, I actually think her voice caught me off guard. I think she sounds a little too high pitched. I know she's fucking young as hell, and she like fucking.
She's 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say 4C, but she still sounds too high pitched to me. Now, hearing Buki Arati again is so fun. I thank David Production for keeping the same voice that they did from the video games, because whenever he talks, all I hear him saying is Saber! At the same time, it's every time when he's fucking talking, I just hear both Shiro and Sasuke, and it's fucking amazing. And is Abachio's voice actor fucking Zoro and Hijikata? Because whenever he talks, all I'm hearing is Santoryu. I'm like, huh? He sounds way too freaking deep voice. But
you don't think he's Junichi Suabe, the guy who plays like Toby. Yeah, I think he played Toby from Prison Tennis. I'm thinking of the nigga from Ayomine. There we go. He's that guy. He's Ayomine and stuff. It's him.
Yeah, so I think his voice, that's way too deep of a voice for a Bachio, if you ask
me. You think he sounds too raw?
Yeah! Way too raw.
That's funny.
This episode was actually pretty calm. It went by really quick. It was the very end of the Notorious B.I.G. arc and whatnot. Nothing
Notorious Chase.
Like, they couldn't have said something similar to Big, like Notorious Large or something.
That's where I have problems with them. Where it's like Killer Queen, Deadly Queen. Okay, yeah, Killer Deadly. You know, synonyms for the most part. I could dig it. What the fuck is Lil Bomber? What the fuck is Zipper Man? What do I have to do? Like, I'm so upset. Oh my god, I can't take them.
But yeah, the episode was actually, it felt like half of a chapter. Like, nothing really happened in it. They just finally escaped this thing, and then we get the one scene with fucking Diavolt.
Diablo.
Same thing. And then credits roll. I didn't want to say fucking Diablo. Sure, we'll just go with that since we're spoiler free. But yeah, it went by super quick. I felt like as soon as I put it on, the fucking episode ended, which is not necessarily a bad thing or anything like that. It's just not much happened in the actual episode, so it was whatever. I mean, I still don't like Part 5. Setting is still fucking whatever, and the Buki is still the only character worth a damn. But it is what it is.
Respect my son. All right,
maybe later.
All right, so let's get to some what ifs. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I thought we can start with some easy ones, because the ones I want to do are like, I guess, spoilery. But one of the ones I wanted to do was talk about just basically, we'll just say what you think would have happened to like the larger landscape of the Jojo universe, or at least up until like the end of the Stone Mask saga. But what do you think would have happened if Dio won in Part 1? Or not, and I'm not talking about like he technically low key did win, but I just mean like he didn't lose his body and shit. Like he won, he stayed a full vampire.
He's got no one to challenge him. He's taken over the world. Maybe no pillar. Actually, not Pillarmen still came through. So
that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So like maybe he has reign, but when the Pillarmen come, exactly what do you think happens at that point? Like, because they have no respect for vampires.
Either he's fighting the Pillarmen, or he's like just joining them, like, because there's really no reason for him, because like they're both after similar things. So I don't really see why he wouldn't be like, yeah, we can work together through this. And then Cars probably betrays him halfway through because Cars is a dickhead.
You think Dio would trust Cars?
Oh no, he just be like, no, we working together to see what would happen. It's better who betrays who. And I just think Card.
You think Dio will allow somebody who's a better being to exist above him? You think he's okay?
Get to that.
Yeah.
He would immediately fight the fucking Pillar Man on site. But
Yeah.
if Dio won, Jojo would be 800 chapters shorter. like for real though, because if you cut it off at that part, then the entire Jojo bloodline gone.
Mhm.
Jojo bloodline gone. Zeppeli bloodline gone.
Speedwagon's out, bro. It's all about
Like,
Speedwagons now.
What the fuck Speedwagon gonna do? He gonna commentate his death. What are you talking about?
That bowler? What the fuck? The hat, dog?
Caesar the real, he's got this, I'm telling you.
Like, Dio would be literally unstoppable. And then even before the Pillar Men come, he's gonna have a fucking army of vampires.
Get my man Caesar a stand. He got this.
And zombies.
Where the fuck Caesar gonna come from and fucking OG Zeppeli gone? What are you talking about? Nah, if freaking Dio won in part 1, that's it. There might even be no point of him in developing stance to begin with, because he already got the entire fucking world.
Yeah,
He's gonna fucking enslave the entire human race, turn them all into fucking vampires and shit. And that's it. End thread. Like, there's nothing else to go on.
What about the Pillar Men though? Is he beating them?
With his fucking army that he's gonna conjure up by the time they wake up.
Pillar Men, like, they love, like, their favorite food is literally vampires. They're just gonna eat. Wamu.
Like Jojo just doesn't go well. Like, everyone's fucked. The world's ending. It's all about vampires now, and it's just gonna be vampire society. Like, that's literally it.
I guess my general question is just that, like, what does Dio do against the Pillar Men when they eventually wake up? How does he stop it? Does he discover the tombs early and dash them in the sun or some shit? Like, what does he do?
Actually, no. Think about it. If Dio wins, then the Nazis probably don't end up waking up.
Senna. They would have. They were going to wake up eventually, anyways, because they wanted the rest of Asia. But they did find it around because after rereading. Yeah, but I'm trying to say just because what I did when I did my rewatch and stuff is what I did was I watched a part, then I read the manga, and the manga has a lot more scenes that are actually not in the anime. Like
What
for
a
part one.
surprise.
For part 1, for example, I don't know if people remember, Dio used to talk to George, on the rooftop when Jojo was playing with Danny, and be like, why does he like that fucking dog so much? And then after George told him the backstory about him and Danny and Jojo drowning in the ravine, and Danny saved him, even though they didn't get along at first, or shit like that. So it's those scenes are not in there. Speedwagon, they had done some type of calculation to determine exactly what year with the Pillar Men going to wake up. And they did a calculation that was 2000 and something. Oh, fuck it, we good, we'd be dead. No. Use this calculation, and it was literally the year they were in, so they were going to wake up in that year no matter what. So no matter what, the Pillar Men are coming. There's no avoiding them. They're getting up. They want to conquer the sun. And I don't think Dio can stop them. That's just me though. So I think ultimately in the end, Pillar Men win. They're out here.
Yeah, Pillar Men win. There's really not much they can do. They just gonna be they're just fucked.
Yep.
Just fucked.
I'm sorry. If you had anything to chime in, you can chime in.
No, Jojo, pretty much, it's just a dead series at that point. Nothing they can do.
And I also would imagine Dio would get rid of any Hamon users he could find. So by the time the Pillar Men come, they're probably super scarce, if not non-existent. So even less people to fight the Pillar Men with. Vampires not getting the job done unless you're gonna kamikaze into the sun and try some shit you go take AC/DC and try to dive into the sunlight and see if you can take it with you. The one thing I'll say though with Dio is like the best vampire of all time, kind of like he like with his fucking stingy eyes and fucking his freezing finger. But then again, he did unlock this thing at the eyes when he was dying. I don't know. We'll have to consider. But anyways, Pillarman out though. Now, what if Jonathan became a vampire? So during his research, for whatever reason, he puts a stone mask on with some blood. He fucks up, and now he vamping.
Dio gonna put on the fucking stone mask too. Still, he gonna put that shit on too. Like I don't make no difference. He still gonna put that shit on.
No matter what, he was destined to become a vampire.
Yeah, like you know, damn well Dio is like fucking humanity. Not it. This shit not hitting at all. So even if Jonathan did that, and he might have made a heel turn. Dio just has a fucking partner now.
You don't think Jonathan would retain any of his nobleness? He's like, I'll only feed upon the squirrels or some bullshit.
First person he eating is his father.
Oh man, you hate to see it.
That's the first person. Listen, he gonna try that shit. That fucking Diary of a Vampire shit. He gonna try to eat some fucking rats and shit. And then the first 24 hours he go without actual human blood, he eating his father. Telling you.
Oh my god. I don't want to see this for him, but I don't know. That'd be funny to me. I just always wonder, like, what if during his research he accidentally fucking put the mask on and became a vampire? Like, what the fuck would happen? I think about it pretty often. I think JoJo's one of the coolest series that has a lot of what if scenarios. Like, oh, almost spoiled something, but yeah. But all right. I mean, that's that. I guess there's nothing much to really say about it.
Doesn't have every ability known to man.
Hey, yo, chill out.
Starfinger! I challenge the energy to my. What the fuck are you talking about? Is that your ability or no? You can stretch? Like, I'm that shit's so funny to me.
To me is whenever, like, on the little omake, however you pronounce that word, those little blank pages, and they have little stand stats and stuff, and they. Whenever Star Platinum is described, what's his ability? Super fast strength and reflex.
And precise movements.
No, the fuck it is not. He is fucking Mokuji. What are you talking about? He's just everything. Get the fuck out of here. They know he just super strong. He's super fast. Hell no.
Super fast, super strong, precise movements. And he can stretch his finger. And he can stop time. And he could sketch things like anything he wants, like shit raw. That's down really to go. But okay. What are some of your favorite character designs in terms of like outfits and appearance in JoJo?
Kira.
Shoot.
That boy clean.
You ever wonder, like, you know, like he like legitimately has like a Killer Queen stand, like tie? Like, how come no one knows that shit?
What happened?
Be like, I'm like, that man is wearing his stand. It's definitely him. That's like if I was like I was wearing like a platinum fucking tracksuit. Like, I'm clearly the user of this stand. Mind you, the tie is small, but I always laugh. Like I noticed after the fact. I'm like, he has his stand on his fucking tie.
Like them bozos who wear the fucking Maru-chan ramen shirt and pants. That shit mad ugly. Kira for
Oh
sure.
my goodness.
That boy is too clean. Them suits hit something fierce, man.
Yeah, he dripping.
Hey, but let me tell you something. Fucking Jotaro's OG black and purple fit part 3. So let me get that coat, son. The fucking chain hanging off the collar. Wait a minute. That boy clean. That's straight Boncho gimmick, son. That's the boy. That's the homie. Who the fuck? That's the homie. Man.
That's just iconic.
It is.
The fucking hat too. The hat too.
The fucking hat that fuses into his hair. Fucking Cole. Who has 2 belts and they slightly hanging off the shirt. He's like, he's so raw, man. Get the fuck out of here. He's so raw.
Nah, he definitely, that look is a super mega iconic. Nothing you can say about that. I gotta go with Rohan. He just looks fabulous to me. He did like he's a definition to me of fabulous. Like that's how he dresses to me. Got the midriff out, like look at this nigga. He's a goat. When they had the little like Louis Vuitton, whatever, Laurent had the Louvre. I don't know fashion. I'm sorry, but like
Me neither.
that fits he was wearing. Jeez, he looks clean as fuck. That's my man.
But thing is, Rohan hair confused me. So like, is the front of his hair hard or what? That shit, that fucking zigzag shit right under the fucking that side part he got going on. Is that shit solid? Like it looked like if you knock on it, like it was sound like that.
I thought it was like a weird bandana.
I think that's his fucking hair.
Oh shit! I wonder if you can find out. But I do love it though. But you're right. It's weird, but it's clean.
Yeah, it matched. Shit, that's all that matters.
I couldn't pull it off. Who else? I hate Diablo's look, by the way, and I hated it.
Fuck Diablo.
Actually, you know what? Let me not. I forgot. But yeah. Fuck. Someone I had in mind too. I like Yasuo, honestly. She's my goat, but we won't get into that. I like Jonathan's part 1 outfit when he had the blue shirt on and his midriff was showing and he had the backpack on.
Yo,
like
what if you would have it and stomachs out?
Hey, yo, if you got a nice midriff, show that shit off. What the fuck?
Let me know you got the fucking that belly dancer fetish or some shit, man.
Listen,
That gender will
relax.
fly.
Relax.
Okay.
Everyone just calm down. Not doing that.
Nah, Joseph with the scarf.
Oh, and Caesar's bandana on. Yeah, I fuck with that too. That shit was clean. Midriff out again.
Oh
That boy
my
was dressed.
God. Listen, Gyro and his hat kind of raw though. Don't even...
And the grills?
Ooh, let me tell you, Gyro has fucking like, I don't know if that's a tattoo or if it's a fucking skin disease. I don't know what the fuck it is. Them fucking stripes on his head, but that shit raw. Purple shirt raw. The hat raw. The grills gangster. Oh my goodness, that's the homie though.
I don't know how he be making these. One for me, obviously, is Jolene. I love everything about Jolene, especially her hair.
Yeah,
Her hair just,
out.
yeah, her hair is just amazing. She had that gimmick.
Yo, she got that real rainbow hair.
That shit fucking
Get
fire.
that Jeff Hardy gimmick real hard.
That shit is just a go. Her outfit's a go. I love Josuke from part 8. I'm sorry, the sailor outfit hitting. Fuck with it. Midriff out.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this nigga is fucking stomach.
Oh, wait. Who was the other supporting guy in Stone Ocean that they wrote it that they drew as a woman as first?
Oh, Anatsui. Dive down.
God. With the fucking fish.
She's literally a girl, and then just like, no, actually, it's a guy. So I noticed that shit. I saw what you did. I would let it slide, but I noticed.
You're not
You didn't
smooth,
go?
bro.
That was not smooth at all. That was a whole ass bitch. The next time I look, she's not one. I want the Pillar Man. I like the thing with the Pillar that I like is that like their attire makes them look stupid and primitive, but they smart. So I like that contrast.
What type of fucking kindergarten reasoning is that?
I'm just saying, like, if I see them, I will call them some caveman ass niggas, and then they're like, they're not. I mean, they are, but they're not. They're smart.
So they raw. The loincloth hitting.
You know what I'm saying? Speedwagon just because he's the GOAT. I don't care. He always gets respect. I like the Darby brothers. I like how they look. How about anyone from Buchirachi Squad or the Squadra? Like any of their designs a lot? Really? I like Bruno's. I like Bruno and the Bacchios and Mr. Fucking hate Mr.'s outfit. And Fugo's
Mr. the
outfit.
Goat. Stop, yo, you.
Nah, we're not doing this. And then
You dragging my goat through the mud every week.
Oh my god.
what is he? That's not the that's not the right type of midriff that I'm trying to see. That's not it. So,
Bro, you got water jelly. You got water jelly. Let me get Mister.
All right, you got it. You guys don't think Risotto Nero looked cool? With his fucking black ass eyes and red fucking pupils. The leader of La Squadra. What about Prosciutto, Grateful Dead? I thought he looked cool.
I like Weather Report's hat.
that hat is clean. That hat is fucking clean.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Fucking Weather Report is my favorite character out of that damn part. So I might be a little biased, but I fucking love that hat.
Weather Report that heat, boy.
Yeah, you were.
His name
The
is
fucking
his man. You fucking raw as shit.
What about Pet Shop? I like Pet Shop. Pet Shop looks scary. I seen that bird, I'm not fighting it. I'm sorry. I'll never fight that bird ever in my life. There's no fucking way. He just mean mugging on all fucking day. I'm not fighting it. There's no way. There's nothing you could say like, all right, I will throw Iggy into the fucking fight and dip. Not fighting that nigga.
I find it fucking hilarious how Okuyasu's uniform is just fucking dollar signs. Like, this nigga's a coon. In every sense of the word. Like, how he walked how they let him into school like that.
And you know what's funny too? It's Japan, so like that would not fly there.
First of all, it's not even the yen symbol. Actually, he has one yen symbol, but he got the fucking US dollar symbol on his chest, and the yen symbol, the tiny yen symbol on his his right collar. I'm like, boy.
Wait, hold on. We forget about the real MVP. Gyro out here with the fucking grills.
We definitely said Gyro. You not listening. You not listening. We definitely said Gyro. We went through all of that. Just stop
you cut
now.
Out for a bit. My apologies. I'm allowed to fuck up sometimes.
Hey.
You cut out for a bit. That's my connection. My bad. I'll put my ass in the back. Back to the bus. We out here.
Oh my god. Hey, I feel it though. He's clean. I mean, obviously we can't go wrong with Dio. I think he looks way cooler in part 3 though. He got like the kind of cool classical vampire outfit in part 1, but I think in part 3, again, fabulous. Fucking heart, bandana. Like, you just, why not heart for it? Why not green heart tied around your head? Like,
this man do not represent love or vitality in the least. What he doing?
Oh my gosh.
Heart, so knee pads, like, boy.
Yeah. I mean, anyone else you could think of? What about the ape? With fucking strength. Were they forever? The fucking monkey?
The literal ape off the fucking boat. Yeah. And they get apart. That nigga was wearing clothes?
Yeah, he put the fucking sailor hat on and the captain jacket. He was smoking a pipe. He was smoking a.
You know what? Now you got it. Hero.
Holy shit, man. I think that's what I got. Is I like Polnareff's fucking hair.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Fucking Fuck. What is his name? Damn it! What's his name? I'm not even gonna bother asking y'all because you don't fucking play video games. But I'll get it eventually.
Okay. I did like
King of Fighters.
Almost. What's that again?
That you play King of Fighters?
Did I play King of Fighters?
Yeah, any of them.
I've played it. I'm not really.
So you should know who I'm talking about. Because fucking.
Oh, Paul.
Who? What the fuck is that nigga name? I'm gonna get his name eventually. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll
That's
just keep
Tekken.
going.
Or is that Tekken?
That's fucking Tekken, you dickhead.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? I don't pause enough fighting. I was like, wait, oh shit, that's fucking Tekken. What am I talking about? I'm
you on
canceled for
drugs,
today.
Hold on.
Not today.
I think I got his name.
Not today. Kyakulin. Kyakyo.
Benny
Kyakyo
Mar.
looks fine.
There we go. Go Google Benny Mar right now. That boy directly is influenced by Polnareff. He's literally just blonde Polnareff.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
See? There you go.
Midriffs out. Okay.
I knew you niggas ain't playing King of Fighters. That's why I didn't bother asking.
No, but you. No. But you. The way you asked it, like, I answered it properly. It's like, did you play it? Yes, I've played it, but I don't play King of Fighters. You know, I've definitely. That's like Soul Calibur. Yes, I played Soul Calibur. Am I a Soul Calibur nigga? Like, no, like 2 characters on top of my head, and those I use. That's fucking what's his name? Keelik with the fucking boomerangs, the nunchucks, and
oh no, Maxie, you dickhead!
Oh shit! There you go. Fuck. See, Max. No, wait. What's the broadsword shit? That Keelik? Am I tripping? Look it up.
No, the broadsword is what's his name? His name is something Chinese. I'm not gonna get off the top of my head. But the dude with the nunchucks, that's Maxie. Keelik is the one with the fucking staff.
Oh, he has a staff. Yo, I'm tripping. Whatever. I used Talib. That's why I use. So that's my man. Talib,
But
and
yeah.
then I guess what? I'm that guy who played 2 and used fucking Link.
Throwing
Oh my
bombs
God.
and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey man, bombs out. Bombs raw. Yeah, I like Hermes from Part 6. I actually like Poochie's design, to be honest. But all right. Anyone else think you forgot?
When he started growing fucking hair, that shit was not it. But nah, his
Wait,
actual.
no. You remember how the hair grew through the like part, through the parts of his fucking his coat? That shit is clean.
His clothes really started forming around his fucking hair. Like there was 3 little holes in his coat, so his hair could go through. Like what the fuck?
That shit had me weak. I love it. Holy shit. I'll just say that I really like Daya from part 8. EQ.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. And see, I want to talk about him, but like that's definitely a spoiler. I know niggas didn't read that part, so I won't talk about him. But there's a certain character who got a type of braid up in part 8. His stand, oh my god, go. But we'll get there another day. All right. But yeah, Jojo characters are just that greatest. They took the greatest all
They
time.
just well designed characters.
Yeah. All right, so actually, we're gonna ask this part first. Like, when it comes to like the whole entire series of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right? What do you think are the series' biggest weaknesses?
The formulaic thing that Araki did, where starting from part 4 and onwards, he would always make it so either the main character or one of the main characters has some sort of ability to heal. So
Okay.
so during the actual fights, when heroes fight, they can get fucked up no matter how badly and always come back because there's that one scapegoat.
Mhm.
There's Josuke in part 4, Giorno in part 5, Jolene in part 6, Gyro in part 7. Like they all have, and I didn't even notice this until after I finished. Like there's always that one character that has a healing ability, so that gives Araki free reign to just completely obliterate all his characters every single fight. And then they can come
limbs,
back.
eyes.
Like getting your tongue chopped up, your fingers removed, like getting your skin peeled off, and then they come back next week perfectly fine.
That's actually like that wasn't the thing I was gonna say, but that's true. That is, it's funny because it gives you leeway to just be like, all right, I'm gonna mash these characters up, but yeah, I feel it. What about you, Mark?
Like I'm a max it on this sympathy real quick, and then it's like, You good next week?
Next chapter, clean.
Not an ounce of blood on their shirt.
Nope, the shirt fixed too.
And they only wear that one fit, so I don't know how they doing this.
Yeah, change your outfit. Go bathe. Damn. All right. What about you, Marcus?
I think it's that at times Araki gets to be overly ambitious with ideas, particularly involving stands.
Okay.
Like just looking at, especially when you look at part 3, when like that was like the first time he did it, he's like just like thinking, okay, I want to do this. All right, I want to do all this. It's like, okay, cool, but the sun stand is literally just the sun, and there's no reason for it. Like it's literally just making the sun as hot as it possibly can be all the time. Like that's the only thing this stand does. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but can we not do this? You couldn't come up with another fire-based stand, give Abdul a cool fight or something like that. Like he has all these wild ideas, and at times they just fall flat on their face.
Yeah, that nigga should have fought Dio. Like, yo, the sun. This is my stand.
The sun versus the world.
Like, cause remember, he came to Abdul, he's like, wouldn't you mind showing me ability? Like, what if my ability was the sun? I think that shit, he just fucking melted. Oh my lord. For me, I would say, I agree with what you guys said with like the healing stuff. That is kind of funny that you think about it, and he does get overly ambitious with ability. I say specifically abilities, like the one that everyone hates in part 6. Like some abilities, where it's like I feel like if he's doing too much to explain it, like he's doing the most, it's like you probably did a little too much. But for me, it's just like some of the slight retcons. Like they're fine, it happens in life, but I don't like retcons in general for the most part. So that's pretty much my only gripe. Where it's like this one's small and minor, but this is the only one I can think of that's not like a spoiler for a later part. But it's like Dio's fucking name was not on that goddamn casket. And then in part 3 they fish him out. That shit listening to all gold DIO. I said, wait, that was not. I went back to check. That was not there. Now raw and Dio would do it, but that wasn't there before. That wasn't there before. So I just be laughing at shit like that. Yeah, there's some more from later on parts, but I can't really say. But yeah, but I'll say this too. For me, I like how he transitions through parts. That's like the GOAT. The only weakness I think about the parts that I think would be better is that if when he transitions to a new one, the characters that are from the other parts should be in them longer. I think Koichi would have been a cool addition to part 5. They used different seconds when he went back to Japan. Like, yeah, I think he's fine, even though he's Dio's kid. I'm leaving. All right.
Yeah,
like,
I bet. Fuck this place.
Yeah, I was like, no, but bitch, I'm flying to Italy. Fuck that nigga's kid. So, I think it did a good part having Joseph in part 3 and then Jotaro in part 4. But I feel like they could have kept that trend a bit more, even though things in part 6. But he's like incapacitated for most of it. Shit. But anyways. It doesn't have many weaknesses. I could say like sometimes you gotta just turn your brain off and just watch the fight because like they kind of final destination these battles where it's like the littlest thing is how they want. It's like you didn't notice that one scale beside you to the right in the second panel. Well, I put it there at the beginning of the battle. Be like, what the fuck are you talking about? How'd you plan that so well? That one fucking thing like won you the entire battle. Like, didn't you notice that you're missing one eyelash? Huh?
Eyelash. And they zoom in on his eye and they count each eyelash and what is missing. And he's like, oh, one eyelash is missing.
I love it though, but sometimes I'm like, all right, nah, I don't buy this. It was cool though, but this was not it though. There's a couple of duds to have mounts. You're bound to have some. Yeah.
I just think that in manga wise, since it's static and whatnot and black and white, sometimes it is very hard to tell what the fuck is going on, regardless of how good his art is. Like Some stand battles, I just like I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I see mush. I see like the world bending into itself, and somebody's blood somewhere. So we'll just keep it moving. But the explanation thing, I don't blame on him. It's kind of just like a Japanese thing in general.
Yeah.
Like when you play a lot of fucking JRPGs or whatnot, when you pay attention to the dialogue and shit, it's very roundabout, especially the tutorials. Like the way that they explain stuff is just so weird, long, jumping over the actual thing way of explaining, and it's consistent in fucking all of their writing, in games, in books, in TV shows, all of it. It's always like that. So it's kind of just like a Japanese thing, but for sure, sometimes it's hard to tell what the fuck is going on with some of them fucking stats. Like, for example, King Crimson's ability is not hard to understand at all.
On paper.
At all. But the way that it was described in each chapter, you're like, huh? What is going on? But it's not hard to understand at all. Same thing in freaking part 7.
There's more. Yeah.
With fucking funny. But
that the way that he introduced that ability, I would not be like shocked to hear somebody's like, I have literally no idea what's happening.
I was like, thank God I fucking read Reborn before I did this, because I seen this before. But because if I seen this for the first time, I would have been like, Onga, I would have been scratching my head through the whole thing. Like, I don't know what's going on, but we will keep it moving.
I think that for me, I was fine because of my comic book background. That's just so common there. So like, it's just like another day of life to me. Oh man, but yeah, but like, you're right though when that says that's just how they write in Japanese in Japan a lot of the times. And one of my favorite things that they do is just when somebody just knows the perfect thing at the right time, especially. This fly from Egypt, like what the fuck? Why you know the specific details of this one fly? Like,
nah, let me tell you, freaking in part 7, when Gyro introduced that fucking perfect triangle shit. Oh my god, I lost it. That shit is so fucking funny. Like, I want to get this fucking geometry out my face. I'm
oh my goodness! It's like, don't you know that it sounded like Asia? Why when we needed to know this specific thing, we are lucky that you do it? Like, why did you know this? Where did you learn it? Like, I have so many questions. I love that shit, but I'm like, hey, wow, how fucking convenient.
oh my god!
I only laugh at the fly thing because I'm like, listen. I could not describe you any fly that I've seen in that detail, but like, why didn't you think that Dio was in Egypt if that's where you saw him? If Chatterwee, that's where you saw him too. Like, I understand it's been 4 years, but like, that's been the first place you checked. So he's like, oh yeah, he's in Egypt because of this fucking fly. I said, yo, what? I love it though. I love it. Biggest strengths though, the season. Biggest strengths.
Funny thing is, the very first thing I said is also a strength. Not the healing part, but the danger part.
Yes.
Because I hate this whole mindset of, oh, well, you know, it's the main character. He can't get hurt. Bam stance. Yes, the fuck he can. The main character can get his or her ass beat all the fucking time. They can get mercilessly beat too. Hell, they can get even fucking killed. Being the main character does not make you invincible at all. So the fact that every single character is always in a giant sense of danger whenever they fight is such a good breath of air. I hate to say fresh air too, because it shouldn't be that way, but just to know that once you get into a fight, you know that somebody's getting fucked up. They're not just gonna walk away unscathed. There's not gonna be no squash match or nothing like that. There's always gonna be that sense of suspense, and that's absolutely fucking amazing.
It's always going to be a good stand battle of wits, resolve, courage, and all those types of things. It's not just like, oh yeah, I just won because I won. It's like, no, you're going to have the kind of thing they call it the seesaw effect, where like it goes up like a back and forth. a good exchange. I always enjoyed that because it's like I have upper hand. It's like, well, actually, no, he did it because your shoes untied, and I did that on purpose when I came in inside the plane. And because I did that, I could do this. But what you didn't know was that, it's like I fucking love it. So I feel it. That's one of my favorite things about it. What about you, Marcus? What do you think is one of the biggest strengths of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Biggest strengths, the fact that Araki's been doing this for well over 30 years, and all of his character designs are distinctly unique to each other. Like, I can't see him, like, I can't say that he reuses character designs over multiple parts.
Oh, like some of these jokers out here.
Hiro Mishima just makes the same 6 characters in all the series. It's tragic. My favorite thing about one of the biggest strengths to me is literally like I want to contradict everything about my whole life, but them stand battles hit. Listen, this is a series just about stand battles, throwing hands, and I love fucking stand battles. They're like the greatest thing to me, maybe besides like watching 2 benders fight, but like stand battles just be hitting, and I love seeing how he can take such a simple ability. Like my ability is to heat things up and then express it in such a creative fashion, where it's like you might have to think of fire or whatever in all of its assets. So like in every form, like smoke, the way it heats things up, like when it reaches a certain temperature, how it affects certain things around them. Like he's so good at doing that kind of shit, and partially because he goes outside. He does it all.
One of the amazing things about stands, though, is that their abilities aren't just the usual, I can control fire, I can control ice, I can control lightning. No. It is some fucking wild ass shit. Fucking Highway Star from Part 4 is still one of the craziest things I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. Period. This stand, you have that in a full body cast, just chilling in a fucking hospital. Meanwhile, he got a stand that doesn't even have a body. It's just fucking feet. This shit is fucking disgusting. You just see big ass footprints just on the floor, and then it fucking walks on you, and you're fucking shriveled up.
Oh, Sarah.
And then it moves. It always moves at a constant speed of what it was like 108 miles per hour or some shit like that.
That's 60 kilometers from me in like my world.
That shit was so fucking raw. Like, not only was it so ridiculous, but I just never seen nothing like this before. And I still have it. An automatic stand that constantly moves at a consistent speed, and once it catches up to you, it will suck all of your nutrients to turn you into a fucking mummy. That is what God's here. And his stand user is someone who is in a fucking full body cast and who's terminally ill or whatever.
With bitches around them.
That shit was so raw. Highway Star will always be one of my favorite fucking stands, period, and just one of my favorite examples of what the definition of unique is. Cause that's fucking raw. Ain't no just I use fire, I throw fire at you. No. This man Joe, they had to fucking hop on a damn bike. He even got a driver's license and fly down the fucking highway for how many chapters? Just
to disassemble a bike around the baby and its mom. Back together, like she was gangster.
That shit was so raw, man. Yo, Part 5 really Part 4 really undefeated, but that's just one of that's I think the best thing about stands. Not even the fact that they're a representation of you, not even their designs, just how unique their abilities are. You don't get that shit anywhere else. Whenever you have freaking a series where people have abilities, it just I control lightning, I throw lightning at you.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And they don't use it in creative ways. Like think about like Red Hot Chili Pepper. That shit was raw. Like it could go into like the literal like grid and take electricity from that shit. It got fat. Like that shit was raw. And then like I always like pseudoscience, or like I call it either like, you know, comic or anime science, where they take a concept that in real life, like I guess in theory if you can do it, it would work, but obviously so fictional, and apply it to a fight, and I will love when they do that shit. I think it makes me laugh. Like this would not work in real life, but you know, it's JoJo, so it's raw.
Okuyasu's the hand literally fucking a racing space. Like, come on, that shit is so raw, man.
Yeah.
Rohan literally turning you into a fucking manga and writing shit in you. You gotta do it. Nah, like, come on. Come on. Heaven's Door is fucking God tier, man.
Top 3 stands for me always. Always. Yeah. Top 3. Yeah, his creativity is probably his strongest like suit. But he had some duds where he overdid it. He tried. I don't say he tried too hard. It just didn't really work out. That's like, I don't know about this one, sir, but like you just think about stands too. Like there's the ones you can wear. You have punching ghosts. You have utility stands. You have colony stands. Like even with just the stand, one that evolved. Like even just the concept of stand itself has so many ways that it can be utilized or like personal to the person. So like it's just the GOAT. Because the first time I think is the first time we saw somebody wear a stand was White Album or whatever. Not the first time, because that shit threw me the fuck. I said, "Yo, he's wearing it!" I got so excited. He was hitting the fucking Shadow the Hedgehog skate. I'm like, "Let's go! Look at the fucking truck. The car." I thought that was amazing. And the first time I saw Colony Sound, I lost my mind. I think that was part 4 with Okiyasu's bigger brother with the fucking toys and shit. That was pretty raw. Yeah, so stands are the GOAT. And then I would say one thing I really like is that whether or not the JoJos of each part and hit you, I like that their personalities and whatnot are distinctly. There's something about each and every one of them that makes them unique. Like Jonathan is just noble Englishman, whatever. Then you got the fucking cheat and Joseph, right? But he has a heart of gold. Yeah. Then he just got this thing of no behavior, Jotaro, no manners. But if I go to a restaurant and I don't like the food, I don't fucking pay for it. Excuse me? That has nothing to do with me. The ingredients and the time it costs to make, you better pay. So I'm not trying to hear all that. I don't care if you like the burger. You better give me my money. No manners.
Bancho.
So yeah. But I mean, while we're on that, I want to talk about the transition of the various characters. So like, we went from Jonathan to Joseph, and do you guys think that was too different or a good move?
Perfect. Like, it's so good to have one set of characters, and then once you get a new set, you're not even comparing the two because they're so wildly fucking different. Mm-hmm. And it's not like in fucking Tower of God's case where you had the season 1 cast and they're all fucking extraordinary. Then you have Team Sweet and Sour and like half of them are fucking buns. Mm-hmm. No. Every single cast in the JoJo part, they're all fucking wild and crazy out there, and they all matter. Like there's no jobbers in them, right? Mm-hmm. They're just freaking. You go from Jonathan, Zeppeli, and Speedwagon. Then you go to fucking Joseph and Caesar. Then you go to freaking all the Stardust Crusaders. Like, it's just so raw, and how different they are from each other. It's always a breath of fresh air. It always feels like you're reading a brand new series, and not just JoJo 2.
Yeah, I feel it. Yes, I feel it.
The new JoJo, the JoJo sequel, right? So I think he got it freaking perfectly. Like, absolutely no complaints whatsoever.
What do you think, Marcus?
I'm sorry. One sec. What was the question?
The transition from Jonathan to Joseph, right? Do you think it was a good move, or do you think it was too different? And in general, like the transitioning of parts, like how do you feel about them? So, like from Phantom Blood to Battle.
Jonathan to Joseph. Yeah.
Where'd he go?
I think that transition was done perfectly well. I think the clear disparity between Gentleman Jonathan and like complete dickhead Joseph, I think that was really well done. It keeping it away from being the same archetypical character in a series that he clearly envisioned multiple parts for, really made it to be like that never should expect a certain type of character as the protagonist. Overall, I like the transitions. Occasionally, I wish there was more interaction between older and newer characters.
I feel that.
Particularly between 5 and 6, because the only connection we really have is Koichi showing up in part 5, so we know Jotaro's still around, assumingly, like during there because he's in part 6. That's really the only thing. But other than that, like the overall transitions between it can be literally anywhere, anytime. It's done really fucking well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because I think the transition from Jonathan to Joseph was great, just because, like you said, we don't, as much as we could say that at least deep down he's got a heart of gold. Like their personality, like he was nothing like Jonathan. He was not a gentleman in that sense. He was just ugly and shit. He would like. You think Jonathan would have endangered an entire store just to take out a vampire? He wouldn't have done that. Joseph took out a fucking Tommy gun and let it rip. Let that shit rip. He blew up a store in broad daylight. Like, well, sorry, at nighttime, but like everyone was around. It was not a covert mission. That shit was loud as hell. Like he was literally kind of just gonna bluff so they can get away. He actually did not have any intention of really fighting Wabu and shit. He said, "Fuck, I gotta fight. I hate working hard. I hate trying hard. That shit sucks." And I said, "Man, he's it." And I do like that when you transition from parts in JoJo and the characters change and the setting changes, the theme of the part also changes too, which I think is awesome. Like a prison break shit scenario in Dolphin Green Prison, I think it's called, in Sword Ocean. You got like a horror story, classic horror in part 1. You got like a journey, like a adventure in part 3, part 4, just like this, small town. There's just like a serial killer. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And by the way, Persona 4 just copied the IU. And part 5 is like Italian mobster drama. Like it's so fucking different for each part, which I think makes it so good in its own right. But what about the transition from Joseph to Jotaro?
Still good.
Joseph to Jotaro?
Because I think what I think is each character represents the time period that it's taking place in. Mm-hmm. So Jonathan is back in the day, right? Chivalry still existed and shit like that. Like you see the fucking estate that boy lived in.
Yep.
That's how freaking people were like. Period. Well, that was the ideal male, right? And then you get a little bit further down the line with part 2, and that's when people start getting fucking rebellious and shit like that, right? And there's civil unrest and blah 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 blah, right? Mm-hmm. So and Joseph is a fucking complete asshole. He's a dickhead. Then you get to the fucking 90s in part 3, and as we all know, in the 90s, that's where freaking trash TV and being ranchy was in, right? Jotaro is a fucking asshole. He's an asshole, but he's not the type of asshole that Joseph is. Jotaro is the literal embodiment of what the hell was cool back then in the 90s. Not only in the series wise, but in real life too, because look at the other series that was around him, like fucking Fist of the North Star and shit like that, right? You big, you tall, you badass, you don't give a fuck, you don't listen to nobody. Simple as that.
Yep.
And then and you get further down the line, I really think that each main character represented the time period that the part took place in. So from Jotaro to Jonathan is also a good exchange, because Jotaro, even though Jotaro is an asshole like Joseph, he's a completely different asshole. Like they're not the same type of asshole at all, right? And
I agree with that.
Jonathan is still that upstanding person, because that's what chivalry was back then. And then you get to Jotaro, and he's young kid. It's not like he's an adult. He's a fucking kid. His clothes alone is rebellious. And the way he acts, he has no fucking manners and whatnot. He's rude as hell. And it's just, but he's still raw and he's still a hero in the sense. The term hero completely changed from when Jonathan was around. So I think that transition was freaking GOAT too. It's just Araki really was in his bag when it came to transitioning from each part, no matter which part you freaking want to compare to.
I agree. I like the part that you said, like, yeah, he's kind of a jerk or an asshole, but he's a different type than Joseph. Because the thing about Joseph is that, one thing about Joseph, he had absolute respect for the people that he cared about, that were around him always, aka Speedwagon and his grandmother, like Arena, right? Jotaro called his mom a bitch in the first. Excuse me? My mom will come in that fucking jail cell and beat my ass, stand or no stand. Okay, my ass whooped. Think I can say that shit to my mom? Are you crazy? Yakamashi! Like, yo, what? You better relax. You have no respect in that regard. But like, the part that we kind of learned that at least he's not at least morally corrupt is when he fights Kyaku. He's like, I know absolute evil when I see it. And since the law can't judge you because it can't see stands, I'll be the one to judge you. I'll tell you, yo! That shit was raw. But what are our thoughts on Jotaro? Especially, we'll touch on like what we know about like foreign stuff, but specifically Stardust Crusaders. How do we feel about the character?
So raw. Listen, I'm sorry, but I'm with the majority Japanese crowd with him being the mascot of the series. It's fucking well deserved. He's fucking raw. And as I said, he's like the epitome of the 90s. Bancho's out. Badassery out. I don't care about your little personality, this, that. Rawness and swag over all. Simple as that. That boy clean and that boy beat your ass. Like, that's the whole thing of being an anti-hero was it. And he just look at him, man. Like, he's so raw. I'm sorry, but I'm not with Jotaro slander at all. He's just fucking cool. He's just nice to fucking look at. Like, come on. That's my main character. I'm sorry. He's raw. His stand raw. His clothes raw. His dialogue raw. His voice raw. Like, come on.
Is your favorite?
He actually might be. Because, you know me, I don't freaking rank anything and whatnot, but I never really gave it a thought of who my favorite Jojo is, but Jotaro might actually be it. I actually dislike him more when he fucking calmed down. When he stopped being, when he finally decides to grow up and is like, all right, I'm not a teenager no more. Bancho's not it no more. But yeah, he might actually be my favorite Jojo because I just resonate with him a fucking lot. I resonate with him more than Josuke, even though Josuke was kind of the funny thing too is Josuke is like Jotaro, but it's like the calmed down version. Just like, so in the 90s, freaking trash TV was in, right? You have your fucking Jerry Springer, you got your fucking Raj Ward, all that stuff, right? Then once you got to the turn of the millennium, get to 2000s, people started regulating that stuff, right? But since the turning of trends was going on, you couldn't 100% it, right? So they're still trying to emulate what the fuck was going on back then, but in a more regulated sort of way. And that's kind of how Josuke feels when you compare him to Jotaro, right? They was both in high school during their parts. They're both freaking delinquents, but Josuke is nowhere near as disrespectful or arrogant as fucking Jotaro was, right? So he feels more like a moderated version of Jotaro, which again goes back to my point of each character represents the time period that the part takes place in. But regardless, yeah, Jotaro might be my fucking favorite JoJo.
I feel it. What about you? I like what you have to say about Josuke. I kind of agree with that. Josuke to me has always just been like the most relatable JoJo. I just feel like he was one that's more like a regular person. He raw when he need to be. He goofy when he need to be. He just be chilling, but he has something he's touchy about. You know, niggas be insecure about shit. Your hair ugly? Fuck you say to me? What about you, Marcus? Go off, King.
Dude, like my phone's been like cutting in and out. Like I'm trying to like fix.
I mean, all right, like disconnect, do what you gotta do, and then just hop back in. I'll go in the meantime.
He in the highway or something? He in a
I
tunnel?
don't know. I don't know. So I mean, I've kind of said what I thought about him before, but I never didn't like Jotaro. That's the thing that people that's like the discussion. Like he's not one of my favorites, but I never disliked him. He cool. It just seemed. I think Marcus said this. He just seemed a little too. This what he needs to do. He's too perfect. But at the end of the day, like you said, it's raw. He got swag. He's iconic. He's the first JoJo of the parts where like the stands are introduced, which is the iconic thing about the series, and he was the first one to really like be the lead of that. So there's no reason for him not to be the one that's kind of the face or the mascot of the series. He's on the cover of the games. He's the main character in the games, no matter what. So it is what it is. Yeah, go ahead.
Like the biggest problem with my issue with Jotaro is it's not just that he's too perfect, it's that like everything about he's pretty much what would happen if Dio wasn't a completely terrible, actually was a decent human being.
What do you mean by that?
They're both extremely intelligent, more than capable of being athletic, complete assholes, arrogant, cocky as fuck, and know full well what they're capable of doing, and don't doubt themselves in the slightest.
But Jotaro's not evil.
No, which is why I say that Jotaro is Dio if he wasn't an asshole, if he wasn't a terrible human being. Just in that context. Because, it's just at the point where, it's just the fact that he's not, we know he's more than intelligent. We know he's strong as fuck. It's pretty much overly implied that he's a good-looking guy. He's just not lacking in any one area to the point that even his perfection isn't a fault. It's not even going to be that far. It's yeah, I'm good at everything, and I don't really have to try, and I'll still end up on top. And then we get him being able to stop time at the end, and you're just like, okay, great.
You're fed up. It's funny because you read my cousin. He's just like, he's cool, but he's too raw. Too raw. He said
he's just I'm not gonna lie, he's too fucking cold. Because I'm just like, oh.
He kind of limit break the rawness me and broke the series.
I was sitting here thinking yo, Star Platinum is fast as fuck. He's gonna he's gonna start moving so fast, he's gonna become Flash speed. That's what I was thinking. Yo, super speed. No, I can stop time too, and better than you my first time doing it. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Listen, I still don't hate Jotaro at all. He has, I think the only thing that really pissed me off, like I said, I'm bringing this up every week. He had no business being that dummy, brother. That was Joseph's fight to win. Never let it go. I'll never let it go. And the Alessi thing, I think Joseph should have fought Alessi. Get the young fresh body back. That kicking Ahmed, you know what I'm saying? Cool. That's what I needed. But for me though, I like him a lot. I like him a lot in the latter parts. A lot more. When he's a little calmer.
Well, he said animals out, dolphins out.
Those memes be killing me, bro. We seen those memes because he's so into being a marine biologist and that he's watching SpongeBob with Jolene, but she don't want to watch it. So he's like, listen, I gotta fuck that. We watch SpongeBob. So what? But part 4, I like him a lot. I like him as a mentor role. I thought it was really good. The way he kind of brought his Joseph in and everything too. I thought he handled the situation with Josuke's mom a lot better than he would when he was 17. He'd been like, "Get the fuck off me, bitch!" But he was like, "No." But he was kind of like, "Oh no, look at me, look, Z, not old." He just so much more maturity, So, I won't go into detail, but I also absolutely adore him in part 6. But part 3 is just a part where he was my I don't hate him, but I like him the least in part 3. That's really all it is for me. But Jotaro is cool.
On the opposite spectrum of me, so when I go over there and beat your ass, there's no hard feelings.
What if I have a raw stand?
Listen, fucking Araki's writing style taught me that it don't matter. It's not about how raw your stand is; it's how you use it. My stand could just be fucking farting. I'ma gas your ass out.
Listen, if I have a stand, it's definitely I'm just trying to be the Flash, bro. I kind of wear my stand like white arm and then just fucking run across water and shit, run through time. All right. Pat will probably be joining us. He said he's gonna come soon. When he does, I'll let him go off because that's his favorite JoJo too. So, but let's talk about old Joseph. And I guess he's kind of polarizing on this part. I would say, at least amongst people I speak to, how did we like or dislike old Joseph? Was he mishandled in part 3?
Yeah, I think Araki messed up with his booking because he shouldn't have been that much of comedy relief. Like, even in the freaking original PS1 and Dreamcast games, he's fucking whack to use. Like, I don't think they should have made him that much of a jobber at all. He should have fucking had those. He should have had as much fights, if not more, as fucking Kakuin and Jotaro did. He shouldn't have just been in the back screaming and shit like that. He most definitely should have, because by the time part 4 rolls around, man is so fucking old he can't do shit. So while he's Ric Flair age in part 3, he should have gotten that one last title run. Like, I don't agree with the exactly how he was booked, but fighting isn't everything, unfortunately. The way his character progressed from part 2 to part 3 is absolutely god tier. The sheer level of maturity that he went through between those 2 parts, you can write a fucking essay on it. That was in that sense he was perfectly handled. Now in the fighting sense, I think he was misbooked. But in general, I do not dislike old Joseph at all. I might even argue that old Joseph is more iconic than freaking young Joseph.
You can make an argument.
Especially since part 3 was the only part that had an anime until David Production came through how many years ago now. And part 3 was the only video game that came out in English. And part 3 was the only video game that came out in English. So the US fans, all the English speaking fans, their first and only introduction was old Joseph. Him in Indiana Jones design, Purple Hermit, the fucking tentacles out his hand, him running straight up and down, arms left, right, running. And oh my god, like, I think that might be more iconic than his adventures, or I should say misadventures, in part 2. But yeah, I don't dislike old Joseph at all. I just don't like how he was booked fighting wise.
I can agree with that. What about you, Marcus?
I think I thoroughly agree with Simmy. Part 3 Joseph was horribly misbooked. Like, okay, cool. Like I get it. Purple Hermit isn't like really the best combat stand. That's fine. But you know what? There were more than enough instances where there could have been a mental game that he could have won through just his intelligence. And it's like, through that alone, he should have won. Again, like the poker game, he should have fucking won that easily. Like, that should have been the one time that Jotaro lost. The one time Jotaro could have lost. That's it.
And he still has fucking Hamon. Like, come on. He should have been doing that shit throughout the entire part. Instead of just smacking TVs and whatnot. Like,
yeah, and like we saw Dio use Hermit Purple, and he didn't do all that. Like, what's wrong with you? You're not karate chopping his crystal ball in half. He just lightly tapped it. Like, who told you to chop the camera? I have some questions, sir. A couple of questions. It's hard for me because he's my second favorite JoJo, one of my favorite characters all time, and I do like his progression in general, to start to finish, all the way up into part 4. I think he's great, but I absolutely agree with the whole part with him in terms of combat. just felt that he should have done more and could have done more. Even with him, I think having probably the worst stand for combat in part 3 for the most part is more of a utility stand. Like, where do we go? Who's watching? Where's Dio? Kind of thing. Like, I fucking break cameras, right? He's too smart to not be able to have won so many of his battles, or like discern what's happening just by looking, based on his experiences. Like, I couldn't tell you what he's been doing for all those years, but remember that he had no Hamon training, and he beat Straits of a vampire who had all 4,000 years knowledge of Hamon and the art of mystics. Sendo beat him. Then he beat a Pillarman. He had no training. Then when he got it, he pretty much washed AC/DC as far as I'm concerned. That wasn't really a big back and forth. He beat his ass. He's just like, he got this one little moment, of course, like, okay, oh, you're gonna say this. And he's like, okay, I just outsmarted, you're done. Like, he could do so much more less, and we didn't get to see that, in my opinion,
at all. And I really just don't know why. Like, there's just no reasoning for it. I mean, I haven't read any at all interviews with Araki and whatnot, if he's ever been questioned about it. But yeah, just a big, like, what the hell happened? Like, did you forget that fucking Joseph was the protagonist of the previous part? Like, what the hell?
I don't know, man. But and the other asset, I liked him. He was funny. He was cool. Made me laugh a lot. Oh my god! All shit was fire, but he needed more fights.
You don't know that?
I never know what I'll say. But yeah, he's still cool though. That's my man. Okay. Anything else you want to say about Old Joseph? How many fights did he really get though? Like 2, right?
Yeah, like 2. The
one with, I know, one with Abdal.
Yeah.
Then the one against that little oil thing on his arm. Is that it?
Like, what? Like, oh my goodness!
Like, I'm trying to think, like, was that actually all he got? I feel like it might have been one more. Well, okay. He got the Darby brother, but he didn't win. How many fights did he win? I guess is a better question.
It's depressing thinking about it. It's depressing watching us trying to freaking scramble for the numbers. Like, this shouldn't have been the case.
Yeah, he should have had more battles, especially since he's just entirely too crafty and smart. Because it's like things that because he's so perceptive and so good at manipulating the environment and everything around him. Because at the end of the day, right, Lisa was a much better Hamon user than he was. Araki stated she has 3 times his potency in Hamon, but she didn't accomplish anything he did, and he did everything just because he's just a fucking cheat and a trickster. And like, I'll see him be watching a battle and say the wrong thing when I was like, bro, you're smart enough to be able to see what's happening and know like what's going on. Where it's like, you're like, oh my god, he did this thing. And after Jotaro's like, no, actually, if you look closely, he stabbed the coins and the firearm between the coins. Like why? Like, Joseph should be able, like, he blind, old man? Like, psychoid? should have been doing that Hamon training, keep your body young. I mean, he looks great for like 67, don't be wrong, but anyways. So, any last comments? I'll move on. All right, so I want to talk about the formula of JoJo. What I mean by that is just like the whole idea of the it's a little bit part 4, I would say, honestly, but where the main bad guy that's not been revealed just sends a wave and a horde of enemies to stop the protagonist. So like Dio and his agents of Dio, the 9 glory gods. I mean, Kira's dad did kind of try to send a couple people after Josuke and stuff. Obviously, Diavolo and the Squadra. Well, not Diavolo. Not technically with the Squadra. The Squadra was like their own neutral party, but just like the waves and hordes of enemies coming at them. Like, how do you guys feel about that formula? Like, think it works? Think it doesn't work? Good or bad?
It works for sure. Like, It literally fucking works. Just play any fucking beat 'em up ever. It's literally just that. Like play any beat 'em up, fucking Final Fight, Streets of Rage, any of them. It's just hordes of enemies that you get the boss at the end, right? Simple. But manga wise, the thing is, the way freaking manga readers and anime fans be so fucking hype beast and fake woke and fake deep and shit like that, I could see why it wouldn't, quote unquote. But in all honesty, there's nothing really wrong with it. This is another reason why I like Part 4 the best, because Part 4 felt like just an organic part. Like it felt like this town of Morioh Cho was alive, right? It wasn't always fighting. It was just what the residents in this town are doing, right? Every chapter, just whatever the fuck they do, whatever they're doing on their day-to-day lives and shit. And occasionally, raw shit goes down, right? Until eventually they got an antagonist, dealt with him. Then it was an era of quote-unquote era of peace. Then they got another antagonist and they built him up until his demise, right? So it felt completely organic and alive. It felt like this is a town and these are the people that live in it. This is what they do, right? But in the other parts, it's literally just like a video game. Like you just go through the level, fight the enemies, fight the boss at the end. I personally have no issue with this whatsoever. Every stand is so fucking unique. It's like, who cares? I do, though, have a problem with, in the later parts, how some stands take up like fucking 7, 8, 9, 10 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Because after part 3, when Jojo stopped being a shonen, it became a seinen, and then and because it stopped being a shonen, it went to and became a seinen. I forgot the seinen brand and Shueisha. I forgot the name of it that quick. It was a Young Jump, right?
They're an Ultra Jump.
Yeah, something like that. They started running monthly, so the chapters went from 13 pages to 30 or 50, however fucking much, right? So when you have one chapter that's fucking 50 pages, and then you have a stand that's going on for 10 chapters, I feel like the characters are fighting this one stand for an eternity. So some of them overlong their stay, to say the least.
Okay.
But in general, I do not mind this formula at all, because JoJo isn't a fucking thinking manga. I hate to say that term, whatever that even fucking means, but it's very simple, right? It's just you have these set of characters and they're trying to do something. That's all. And then freaking people oppose them. That's it. There's not no intricate plot and all this other shit and all this planning and this. Nah, it's just they're just getting from point A to point B, or they're trying to accomplish something, and people are opposing.
It's got a simple formula, yet it still manages to be one of the most unique series of all time.
Yep. So I think the fact that stands are so unique, it never feels repetitive at all. Like, at all. Because you never know what the fuck you're going to get the next fight. Even though you know, okay, after this fight's done, another fight's coming. But you don't know how that fight is going to turn out. And the way that these people do combat with each other, can you even consider it just a basic fight? I feel like just saying fight is kind of disrespectful to what goes on in the series.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more than just freaking fisticuffs and whatnot. But I could see from the hype beast point of view why it would be a problem. But the formula, it's perfectly fine. It's sound. It works in other forms of media. It can work here too.
What do you think, Marcus?
I'm trying to find the right words to really put this in. Like, Simmy just says so much. I'm like, God damn, for saying everything.
You can go first next time. Yeah. I mean, I could go if you want.
Start going.
Yeah.
Let's do.
All right. The formula's great. Simple. I'm a fan of simple. Simple is fine. I do like when my shit can be convoluted and complex sometimes, but not needlessly. There's no need. It's like hey, they're coming to kill you. Okay, well, don't let them get here. Stop them. Like, it's really that simple. It's fine, and I think that he manages to kind of make a pretty interesting, like, diverse set of like opponents and whatnot, like the Oingo Boingo brothers. That was pretty interesting. Um, you know how JGL had a literal connection to Polnareff because that's the guy who murdered his sister. So it's like that was more personal when that came, right? There were certain stand battles that have a little bit more weight to it depending on the person. It's like Enya Baba, whatever her name is, I forget her name.
Yeah,
Was
old bitch.
yeah, was like Dio's like any other hag, I think her name is. Was like a consort of like Dio. Dio would just be like chilling. What's the meaning of life? And she'll be like, to live is to gain everything that you need. Like, yeah, why you just randomly ask her this shit? Obviously, Vanilla Ice was one of his most trusted advisors because he turns people into zombies. It's very rare for him to turn somebody else into a vampire because then they get the same access to powers that he has. So obviously, he had a lot of faith and trust in Vanilla Ice specifically to let him do that. Pet Shop is the scariest fucking bird I have ever seen in my life. Okay? That shit is terrifying. That's top 5 most terrifying stat user I've seen in this series. The duel was just this blind dude that was putting in the work in the desert. Like to me, the stand battles themselves are diverse enough. The stakes could vary depending on what the characters have, like in terms of like connection to them. That like so, just like I think it works. It's fine. I can understand you'd be like, oh, you're just fighting, blah blah blah. Like it seems like that's kind of disrespectful for this series because like a stand battle is so much more than just like I punch you, you punch me, I punch you back. It's so much more. So the formula is completely fine, and I like it. Marcus.
I like the way the formula has developed.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that part 1 was more so boss, minions, like fight the minions, get to the boss eventually, and part 2, fight the minions, train, get your ass beat, train some more when and there. Part 3 is the only formula that I got frustrated with. Strictly because a lot of it was this is the stand of the week next, to the point that there's a minimum of like 40, maybe 50 stands in part 3. And after a while, a lot of them just didn't feel memorable or even something that like I'd want to look back on fondly for a lot of the fights. And that really bothered me for something, especially considering that I really was enjoying part 3. Part 4, I love the fact that it's, as Simmy said, it's just these fucking guys just going through their day-to-day lives. Like, Rohan sitting here drawing, making people fucking speak French because he can, and just living life just casually until something comes up. Like part 4 is possibly, like, just the most just casual thing possible, and somehow they made that work. Part 5, oh gosh.
I like La Squadra. I'm sorry, they're fine. They're probably my favorite minor antagonist.
Okay. I feel like the only thing about part 5 is again dipping into Araki's overambitiousness. Like he had so much he wanted to do, and then like when I read it, because I promise you I will catch up hopefully in the next week or two. Like when I read it, like I was just like, dude, what the fuck did you do? Because I was going so well,
Mm-hmm.
and it just like somewhere along the line, like there was just a major disconnect with me and the rest of the series. And we're not gonna go into everything else because the people are up to it, and I don't want to accidentally spoil something because I know I will. But yeah, like
I bleeped it out last time. I remembered.
Bro, I'm talking.
I'm just saying. The first time I definitely didn't do it. I just totally forgot. But the second time, like, hey, you actually bleeped it out.
I misunderstood. I misunderstood his cue. I should have said Gappy last time. That's my bad.
So,
but yeah, like I think Jojo, as far as the formula goes, I'm saying it's Like it's a solid 7 out of 8 because part 3 is the only one that really fucked up with me.
Mhm.
Like,
So, did you not like the Agents of Dio or the Nine Glory Gods?
no. I loved that. My problem was everything, like between them getting their crew together and actually getting to Egypt. And I mean, like being ready, like getting ready to fight Dio. Like everything to them, like almost like I would say about like Dio's like 10 chapters before Dio's World Part 1. I literally was just so drained of it all that I was just like, all right, okay, all right, another lame stand, okay.
Really? I really thought he mixed it up pretty well.
More Darby Brothers, give me that. Like Darby Brothers, that's like the exception. I fucking love them. But
Yes.
like, they're just fucking
Kujo.
dumb as shit. And they're
Go
fucking
ahead,
weird.
Mr. Joester.
Go ahead, Mr. Joster.
Oh,
But
yes,
no, but
yes,
like,
yes.
I genuinely think that, like, part 3, I feel like it could have done without at least 12 stands.
Jesus Christ. It's a lot of stuff,
Dude.
bro.
Okay, think about it. They have to do. They're doing every single one of the tarot cards. So that's 23 off the bat. They did the
I don't think they did every single tarot card, though.
Say that again?
I don't think they did every single one. They did a lot of them, not all.
We did see every single one.
Did we?
Yes, we saw every single tarot card.
Hmm.
Dude, you know we got every single one because we got the sun, which was just a stand about the sun being all day long. We got all 23 tarot cards. There's no way in hell we didn't. Like,
All right,
we might
man.
have been, like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I thought the variety was good enough that I think I was okay with it. Like especially like with Steely Dan, because you basically anybody who knows how Jotaro is was just waiting for him to get the moment to just wait until I can fuck him up. Just wait. And as soon as that happened, what did he do to him? I'm pretty like as far as I'm concerned, he murdered that man in cold blood. You made me steal this watch bullshit. You don't use me as a bridge. Like, just wait. Yeah, all right. Oh my god, that shit was so funny. He beat the fuck out of it. And then like I said, the stuff with whatchamacallit? Lost my train of thought because I'm 8. But anyways. Was that Rubber Soul or Steely Dan did that too? My brain hurts. Anyways.
yo, Jojo is just that kind of series.
I'm just saying, man. He just what was that guy that like he basically was like he had like hostage for like half like for a couple of chapters. He like took his watch. Like, I like this watch. Give me that shit. You walked across him as a bridge. You kept doing the most.
You know what? I'm gonna have to reread part 3 and suffer through that again. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so but like when it comes to Dio now, right? How would you guys say he's changed, or from part 1, from Phantom Blood? Do you think he's changed at all in any facet?
Somewhat. Like, I liked Dio being the feeble mastermind, constantly having his hand in things, and I feel like that's a spoiler. Fuck. Due to certain events in part 6, that to me it feel like it undercut his character just a little bit.
I know what you're saying. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But what about
Like,
specifically in Stardust Crusaders, though?
I think I don't know. I feel like him having a son, I feel like that felt weird a little bit. I don't even know why it just did. Like, something about that just didn't feel right to me. Like, just certain things about Dio later on in the fact, I was just like, I don't know. But, like, I feel like a lot of it came to be like, how can we tie Dio into X, Y, and Z? And they're just like, okay, we can do this. And sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't. But that's just like...
What about you, Simmy? you there? Oh, wait, I think he might be muted. He's muted. All right. I think Dio has definitely, has definitely matured to some degree. I would say I do totally agree with what you're saying. But some of the stuff about Part 6, they kind of throw his character into this really peculiar like position. I'm not entirely sure how to explain it without literally going into it, so I'll just leave it for another day. Hopefully, I remember.
When we do the Part 6 discussion, we'll go into it.
Yeah, but what I will say though is, I feel like his level of I don't know if I want to say called disrespect is not as high, where it's like he is legitimately taking the Joestar family bloodline like as a legitimate threat to him. Like he's like until that family's eradicated, he cannot rest. He's not okay. Because Jonathan had pushed him that far. He respects Jonathan that much. That's like, yeah, there's descendants. They might be nothing like him, but I just don't want to take the chance. And it's weird because I felt like Dio, even though he was like in part 1, I felt like he was way more like evil. He was way more in the series in a sense where it's like he fucked with Jonathan's life, right? Became a vampire, appeared, kind of washed him and Zeppeli. Then he's like, Tarkus, Bruford, you got left again. Then he's just always doing weird shit, like turning people into chimeras. He's like, okay, mademoiselle, made her eat her baby. Like, he's just being evil as fuck, right?
Oh,
and then after the final shot, comes back and he steals his body. Like, he's just there. Now, in this one, to me, what I like about it is his presence always felt. The looming danger of Dio was always there, even though he's kind of in the background, in the shadows, the whole time. He has scenes where he's talking to Eniaba or Vanilla Ice or whoever minion it is, and like certain flashbacks where like Abdal talked about when he met him, or when Polnareff met him, when Kyakuid met him in Egypt. But never really in the show until Dio's world. But I always felt that his presence was always just as strong in that fact.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, just the idea that maybe Dio could just show up one day, that was always something that had to be in the back of your mind.
Yes. Like at any given point, just do the like I'll do it myself gimmick. And he did think about doing it. It was Enya that stopped him. He's like, you sully your hands for some Joestar, they're trash. Like, no, don't do that. Don't lower yourself to this level. Like, you're too good for this. What about a stand? How do you feel about a stand, man? The world. How do you like it?
Honestly, just off the name, that's like continuing with the tarot card theme. That's a fitting stand for Dio, considering that everything he's an egomaniac and everything is about Dio.
Did you think that would be his tarot card?
Say that again.
Do you think that would be his tarot card? I thought for sure he was gonna be the Emperor. I don't know why. So when Hall Horse was Emperor, I was legitimately like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Like, it's literally, it's between the Emperor and the world. The only reason why I say the world is more fitting is because Dio is so self-absorbed to the point that like everything is essentially entailed into him. Like, pretty sure Araki at one point said that like all the Joestar stands, like all their powers, have some relation to the world in some way, shape, or form, because that was apparently would have been Jonathan's stand, not Dio's. So if that's actually the case, because I could be remembering this wrong, like I'm gonna disclaimer, like I could be misremembering this completely. If that is the case, then that is honestly such a big thing, considering that considering it's all about Jonathan's bloodline and how obsessed Dio is to the point that he needs to eradicate this bloodline and get it off the face of the earth immediately. No way around it. Like, that's just what he needs to do, because of that he cannot rest until that happens.
Well, the major arcana of the tarot card Arrive the World, I think fits Dio and its ability very well. I just thought, like, just if you had just asked me before going to it and we're going with this theme, what I thought he would have been, I would have told you the Emperor for sure. That's what I thought he was going to be. That's really all my point was. But now, one of the things that gets brought up a lot about Part 3 is that Dio doesn't use his vampiric abilities, his freezing finger, or the ability to shoot his like eye lasers out, you know. And I don't think a lot of them realize that he's clearly not as strong physically because he's not really a full vampire, at least not yet. He needs more blood, more time, and he needs Jonathan's body to kind of submit to him, which fully hasn't. And he's in a Hamon user's body. To me, is like brain dead on his part. That's the body of a Hamon user. So I just personally don't think he had access to all those powers the same way he used to. What do you think, though?
I think Jonathan's body being infused with Hammond really put a damper on a lot of his abilities. Like, clearly he has some of the vitality of a vampire and all those other abilities, but not to the extent and degree that he did in part 1.
Absolutely.
And I feel like because of that, it's kind of a shame that we didn't get to see him go vampire the world. But at the same time, if they did, like, you're just not beating the because he'll just use his eye beams and call it a day.
Yeah, it'd be very hard to defeat him that fight. Like, even like you said, his vitality, like the way that he heals, requires him to have like a lot more blood for something as simple as like losing his legs. Where we saw someone like Straits get blown up to nothing and just he's good, right? He lost a leg, and yet he needed that girl to bring the leg back to him so he can attach it and then suck her blood to heal. So. He's clearly not as strong from the vampiric standpoint, but I do believe part of the reason why he wasn't, stressed about it was, well, he's not fighting a Hamon user, which I would say the freezing finger was specifically designed to counter because it's lifeblood, it's your veins, this and that. If he freezes it, you can't get it out. And Joseph was out of commission. He didn't have any worries about that. Plus, he's probably like, yo, the world is the GOAT. Like, I don't even need that shit. It's the world.
He's like, I can stop time. I got this.
Like, yeah, like we're not worried about all that. It's good. So yeah, man. I don't know. I don't think it's a really. I get the complaint. You should have like why didn't he just use this freezing finger or stinging ray for eye or other or more vampiric abilities? But I mean, this isn't Phantom Blood. Stands. This is a new thing. So I think him having to show off his stand was a big deal. Now they did it the way that they did it. I was actually okay with it. You know, the joke is I never noticed until after. I must have asked myself randomly in part 4, like, Dio never used any of his vampire powers in that fight, like randomly in part 4. But then I thought about why. Like, yeah, that makes sense. It's fine. How important? Well, you kind of brought it up, but how important are the tarot cards to each person's ability and personality? You think that he was spot on with each one?
I used to know so much about tarot cards. I've fallen off hard. I know that, if I remember correctly, the star is meant to symbolize hope and a whole bunch of other shit. So if we keep that in that regards, not Jonathan. Jotaro is the hope of just the Joestar bloodline. Like, without, like, yeah, I guess you could say Josuke and Giorno could also have kept it going. But for the most part, Giorno is still... Hold on, I got a question. I don't know why I just thought about this. Giorno is Dio's son, right?
Through Jonathan's body, yeah.
Yeah. Why the fuck is Giorno blonde then?
He wasn't always he wasn't always blonde. He became blonde after a certain point.
Oh wait, he dyed his hair, right?
I don't remember if he dyed his hair, but I know it became yellow later on. It was black. His hair was black in a bowl cut when he was younger.
Oh my god. I really need to. Okay. Yep.
You can hit the reread or rewatch.
I'll get through it. I'll get through it in 2 days. Actually, I ain't doing nothing tomorrow. I got it. It's fine.
Crackhead do it. How do you think the supporting characters were? Kyaku, Polnareff, Iggy. Obviously, we talked about old Joseph, Abdul.
Iggy to go.
Why is Iggy to go? Why is Iggy to go?
Because he's such a dickhead and you still love him. Iggy was he was just a complete piece of shit, and he was still the best dog ever. Like, when Iggy died, you really, that hurt.
That didn't hurt me. I'll be real.
Nah, you can't kill the dog, bro. You can't kill the dog. That's fucked up. That's cardinal sin right there.
I don't think any death in part 3 really messed me up.
No, it didn't mess me up, but I was like, yo, you can't kill the dog. Like, that's fucked up. Like
But-
Iggy went out like a boss, so I'm gonna give him that. But
Yeah.
damn. Especially because he
Simmy,
was
have you been following?
because like it was him and Polnareff fighting,
Sort
right?
of.
Yeah. Sorry, Marcus. Let me
Iggy
get his
died
thoughts on this
fighting
real quick.
Polnareff, right? It was
Yeah,
him and
yeah,
Polnareff.
yeah. I guess Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
Yeah. So considering that Polnareff was the one that was like, "Yo, fuck this dog,"
Ice,
and he's like, "Yo, Iggy, no," I'm like, "Oh,
go ninjas, go ninjas, go. Go ninjas, go
I
ninjas,
was like,
go.
yo, that's nice. That's a full circle."
Okay, we'll get back to the Iggy in a second. Let me just get his thoughts on the Dio stuff. How do you feel that Dio was different in part 3 opposed to Phantom Blood in terms of presentation or personality or whatever the case may be?
I felt like he's actually pretty the same. Besides the whole him not using fucking any of his vampire powers or not using fucking Hamon either. I thought it hit part 1 him and part 3 him were similar. Like if he was to put the mindset of part 1 Dio in part 3 or give part 1 Dio the power that part 3 Dio had, he would act exactly the same.
Mhm.
Now that he has all this fucking power, now he could just chill in his fucking lair and fucking spawn minions, gauntlet style. Like,
Mhm.
play his own little mini real-time strategy game. So I think he was actually pretty similar. They're like almost the same, really. Just he changed his fucking clothes.
And his body.
Change location, change his clothes.
Yeah, I'll tell you briefly what I just said. Basically, for the most part, I agree with that. I do think he's a bit more in 3. He has a bit better control over his temperament, but obviously he's the kind of guy. As soon as he's pushed to the brink, he kind of loses his mind a bit. But him controlling his emotions was something he was really bad at when he was younger. Right?
I don't even think that he got better at his emotions. I think it just there was nobody to stir his emotions to begin with. Like you can't say, "Oh, I'm better at my temper," but you don't fight with nobody. I'm like, if you don't talk to nobody, then you can't gouge that you're better with your temper or not. Jonathan was there, so he was always angry. Now that he beat Jonathan, ain't nobody making him angry.
Well, he's like I said, he puts respect on Jonathan's bloodline. He's like, I can't basically saying he can't rest until the Joestars are eliminated, and he's like, what? Like that? Like Dio was at one point. Dio was like, yo, I'll do it myself, and she's like, no, you don't need to be leaving to go deal with some fucking Joestars, man. Like, relax, you're too good for this. And he's like, all right, what is fear? Oh my god, his conversation with her just made me laugh. I think they're fucking hilarious. Basically, my main thing was just that presentation. Dio is very much always doing shit in part 1, from terrorizing Jonathan to kicking the dog, everything like that. Becoming a vampire. They fought in the house. He lost, and they had like the mid-boss battle where he kind of washed him and Zeppeli together with the freezing finger, and then he summoned Tarkus and Bruford. He's making Chimera people. He's doing the most. Just doing the most. And then obviously the last battle at the end, he takes the body. Whereas in part 3, he's way more in the background. But the thing about it that I like that Araki did is that he still felt as dangerous. Like he was just the looming threat that at any point could just pop up and be like, fuck it, I'm here. What's up? Because he's having his little combos with the old lady that are mad funny. He's constantly like feeling the connection through the bloodline. When they see him, he sees them. When he sees them, they see him. And just like a looming threat, he's just always a part of the story, even though he's just in the background chilling until Dio's world, which is what I liked about it. Like I just felt that he was hidden much more in part 3, and in part 1, he's just there all the time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it just because freaking in part 1, there was no minions to throw hordes at, right? Until later. And even then, it wasn't hordes. It was just like fucking 3 of them, 2 of them, whatever. But in part 3, now that we actually have minions, now that he has his own fucking assembly line, that he's just spawning out minions and whatnot, he has that luxury of actually being the final boss. But when you have a series where there's only fucking 2 characters, it gotta be on fucking screen at all time, otherwise nothing's happening. But yeah, I really think he's the same because I do like your point of him putting over the the Joestar bloodline, but I think that's more in the lines of just Japanese villains being Japanese villains. Of, oh, I gotta kill these guys. They gave me a hard way to go, so they cool and all, but I'ma still fucking kill them. Like, it's not necessarily a respect thing, but kind of just like a rivalry sort of thing, a deadly rivalry, whatever the hell you want to call it. But yeah, I think because like you can't say that freaking you're better at controlling your anger when nobody's testing your anger. The second fucking Jotaro pulls up on him, oh, you gonna walk towards me, and the fucking meme pic, the meme panel, right? So it's like,
oh my god, I feel.
Oh, on God, like, yeah, he's still the fucking ape that he was. It just now that he got rid of the main thing that was fucking causing him to be angry in part 1, he's chilling until fucking the next big thing that's gonna cause him to be angry finally shows up. Then he's not chilling. But yeah, I think he kind of was stagnant through his time in part 1 and 3, if we're being honest, which is not a bad thing at all because he's fucking charismatic, and I wouldn't want the charisma to go anywhere at all.
Hey man, bottom of the ocean was just had him chilling.
D.I.O.
Oh my lord! But maybe maybe he stuck his hand out, carved that shit, stuck on a hair. We briefly spoke about him not using his vampiric abilities. I think he's weaker personally, based off the fact that he's not a full vampire and Jonathan's body hasn't fully submitted to him. He was dumb enough to take a Haman user's body of all things, which I think is a legitimate clash with him. I think, to me, I always felt like the reason why he didn't use the freezing finger or like the stingy ray ripper eyes was just he just really couldn't until like even his ability to heal lessened. Like remember when he's lost his leg in the store, he made the lady bring the leg to him. Before that, he could just suck the leg back to him and heal. But he needed her blood and her to bring the leg to heal. So I just don't think he's as powerful as a vampire in part 3. Plus, he has the world, so doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, this is 100% true. Yeah, that is a point I can't argue against. Freaking Jonathan's body was not having none of that at all. It's like trying to use a freaking uncooperative computer. Well, I shouldn't say uncooperative. They don't have a mind of their own. It's like trying to use a fucking
Skynet's cool.
Huh?
Yeah, Skynet is cool.
Get the fuck or lame pop up on my screen. But nah, it's like trying to use a freaking old ass 2003 pre-built machine and then trying to run fucking Google Chrome on it, knowing damn well that Google Chrome fucking eats up RAM like it's nobody's business. So that shit gonna run slow as hell. Like, so it's kind of like that. Jonathan's body is like, no, get the fuck out of here. And fucking Jonathan never put on the Stone-Master to begin with, so it's still basically a human body, but with vampire powers instead of a vampire body, if that makes sense or not.
But then again, the only thing that I think is funny is that he did get the fleshling blood bud. Where did you learn that?
Listen, when you in the fucking casket for that many fucking years,
you know what?
Shit happens.
Like, oh shit, I can do this? Wonder what it does.
It was training out.
Hey man, he was training. At first, he couldn't stop time for that long, so it is what you know what? It's fine. How do you feel the supporting characters? Kyakuin, we talked about Joseph, Polnareff, Abdul, Iggy. You like them?
I like all of them.
Oh, all of them.
All of them. Iggy, ugly ass, always farting, always chewing on that gum. Ugly ass dog, don't even like a dog. He like a freaking nigga in a dog bite. That's a nigga's face on the dog's body. Like, alright, like, I'm sorry, but Rocky never needs to fucking draw animals again. Both instances where he drew dogs, I actually say all 3. I think there was a dog in part 4. But the dog, Iggy, and then that freaking one dog in that panel in part 7, both ugly as fuck. That shit nasty. Like, those are not animals. That's just a human's face on an animal's body. But I love all of that. The contrast in all their personalities was fun. I love a good story where you have a big cast and they go on a journey. Your Yu Yu Hakushos, your Flame Arekas, your Sayukis, all of that. is fantastic. So I love all of them. They're not all. It's not all just Jotaro clones or all Joseph clones, anything like that. It's a bright and vibrant cast of characters when they're all stupid, but they're not really stupid, but they're stupid anyways, sort of thing and whatnot. And it's just super fun to follow. I like that's my family. Get the fuck out of here, man. The ending, man, with the second ending, the part 2, the fucking picture. Nah, I don't want to talk about that shit.
A long way home.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't like how Rocky I feel like he did Abdul kind of dirty. He died twice. Why he died twice? Like, I do that too. But Abdul's fine. I'm not a Kyakuin fan. I don't know. I didn't feel nothing when he died. But I respect him for being able to stop the clock to give Joseph the clue he needed. Iggy's funny. Iggy's fine. Iggy just stank face. Mad as fuck. He don't want to be here. He want to do shit. But him versus Pet Shop was elite. I love that fight. It was so good. Cause that bird's scary, man. I feel it. I feel it, Iggy. That bird was scary. Obviously, like Joseph, I love Morioh. I don't care. He funny. No. He to go. I love when he got his revenge for his sister. That was a great moment for
Damn,
me.
I can't even say what I want to say because fucking anime only's it, man. Fuck out of here, man.
I know. Oh yeah, I know, man. It's okay. So, how good do you think the stand battles were in part 5? 5, Jesus Christ, 3.
They were
because like a prototype part, right? Like a prototype.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It was the definition of prototype. It was already testing out the waters, like before he got fucking wild crazy with it. However, I think they're fine. They're perfectly fine. The one with they was on the fucking plane was cool. The one on the fucking boat was cool. I like fucking little baby. The shit was with made eat the doodle. That shit was cool. Like, I don't. Even though a lot of people say that part 3 is formulaic and blah 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 blah, I do not mind it at all. Again, that is a very anime only mindset. You didn't start hearing that opinion until the fucking anime came out. The stand fights, they're perfectly fine. I don't mind them at all. I like how it wasn't always just one character versus a stand user. Sometimes it was all of them. Sometimes it was 2 or 3, so on and so forth. And it wasn't always the same characters and whatnot. So I thought the stand battles were not bad at all. I don't think it was weak or anything like that. He most definitely was testing out the waters, but it was a good test. It was a good test drive. I don't know why people try to pretend like he was fucking fumbling all through the entire fucking part until they got to Cairo. Like, no. This entire Stardust Crusaders was fine.
I agree. Yeah, like obviously, I guess prototype. He's testing shit out, but it's like it worked. Like the sand battles are. It's like he definitely learned what he needed to learn from part 3 and applied it to things. Like I know he said things stuff that like Whole Horse mixed with somebody inspired, like Sex Pistols. So things that he learned that he thought maybe he could improve upon, he improved upon them in later parts. And to me, I just think, like you said, it's a good diversity in terms of like I think was it Steely Dan, where he could put the shit in your ear, and they were like miniature in his ear trying to get the shit out, but other people were doing other things at the same time, but they were all working together to take him down, kind of thing. Where it's like, yeah, you have Avdol and Joseph versus Mariah, like we're all doing their own thing. Good variety, underwater, above water, on the water, on land, whatever case may be. In China, Egypt, wherever they're going. Like, I think it was way diverse enough. I love the duel fight a lot in the desert. That's one of my favorite ones of all time. I also love Pet Shop versus Iggy. I love both Darby brothers, just because they weren't even really like fights. They're just like like a game, gambling into games. And I said this shit raw. Kakui lost off some bullshit. Yo, I left right. Ain't no game this old have that level of sophisticated shit. I died so hard, but Dio's world is absolutely like the epitome of a great climactic battle, in my opinion. I loved it. It was worth every second, every moment, the lead up. Jotaro versus Dio was raw. Dio's world was amazing. So I generally don't have any complaints. Yeah, it's raw.
I don't.
Um,
I just don't
yeah, go ahead.
understand what they would want out of Stardust Crusaders. Like, what the hell would they do so different? This is so formulaic and so boring and things like that. I don't know.
They got no consistency anyways, so it's hard to tell. All over the place. Do you have any favorite stand-up battles?
Shit, that's a good question. Shit, that is a very good question. One of my favorite stand battles is some that we're not going to get to a long time. It was fucking Gyro versus what's his name? Fucking Ringo Roadman, whatever his name is.
Mondo.
What was his stand? The last something. What? Go on, help me out here.
You're talking about the Wicked People one, or the one where because they're just using the balls, but there's one where he fights Mandem.
You know what? Where did Google at? Hey, Google, help me out here. Talk to the crowd so we're not silent for a few minutes.
Yeah, how's everyone doing? Mandem out. This is the true man's world. All right.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
That shit was so fucking raw for no damn reason. Freaking Johnny is out of commission, gone, and it's just Gyro and Ringo fighting each other. And that shit, man, and it's I can't even get my words out. I don't know, man. It's just like the epitome of just what it is to be a fucking man. Like one-on-one battle, no holds barred. Me and you, only one person's leaving here. That shit was just so much heat for no reason. But I do actually really like when Koichi and Jotaro fought Kira. Right, and
That's really good. Yeah.
Poor Koichi got destroyed. Poor guy. I thought he was dead too. Yeah, I thought he was done. The tears already caught me because Koichi's my favorite character out of part 4. But I really like that fight for sure. Clearly fucking Jotaro versus Dio that's just one of the most iconic anime fights of all time. Not even just like one of the most iconic fictional fights, period. It's just so ridiculous, so over the top. Just
man stopped his heart and all kinds of shit. Dio put his ear to the concrete. So, what are you doing, man? That shit funny. So it's like I gotta make sure I'm gonna cut his head anyway and just fucking shakes that shit. Like nah, yeah.
Heat in every sense of the word.
When he popped out in the sewer, I lost it. It's like, yo, where you going? Dio tried diving in the sewer, the tower just in that bitch chilling. I'm like, why are you in the sewer? Oh my lord. Go.
I completely forgot the name of the two dudes. I think it's one of those dudes that fucking Laz hated too. That Jolene fought. Right? This is like right before they leave the prison altogether. Little fucking Chinese old dude and then the other big guy.
Okay.
Those two fights, even though they was short, the reason why I like them so much because it was just fucking hands. Like Jolie was just throwing fucking hands. There's barely any stands involved. Like they were just fucking going at it, throwing bombs. That shit was. I'm like, man, we out here. But, I also do like Kira versus all of Morioh Cho at the end. That shit was pretty raw because it was nice to see Kira being backed into a corner so badly, and then everything that he was doing of trying to stay low key, and then the fight happening in broad daylight in the middle of the street and whatnot. That shit was raw. I thought that was pretty cool. And anything else I'd have to think too hard about. So. Those off the top of my head.
All right. I mean, we can just end it off with the basic. How did we feel about the Stardust Mask Saga? The story, the characters, the themes. We think the story of these 3 parts, they follow well into each other, like a seamless flow from Phantom Blood to Battle Tendency to Stardust Crusaders. We feel there's a level of like it's all about the Stardust Mask and the effect that it had on the world. The Dio using it, then obviously the Pillar Band, the people who created it, and it kind of goes back to Dio and the Joestar family. Bloodline feud. Like, how do you feel about the Stardust Mask Saga?
I actually think that the entire thing blends into each other nicely until part 5, I would say, because you could directly see the correlations between what just the Stonemas did in general, from Dio putting it on to the freaking Pillaman arriving to the development of stands and then the whole arrow business stuff, right? I thought all of that was nice, but the Stonemas itself, that shit raw, man. I mean, that shit just point
Yo, what's up, fellas?
Yo,
That came at the end. That came at the end. What's up, Ahmed? You good?
What's good? What's good, Hams? How you doing, bro? What's good?
I'm alright, man. I'm alright.
Bro, that Stoneman shit was elite, man. The fact that them niggas were immortal and shit was fucking dope, bro.
Yeah, I feel it. My bad, Simmy. Did this finish what you were saying?
yeah, I think just the entire concept of some ancient item having some mystical powers, and then once you actually see what the fuck it does, it's just so fucking raw, man. I love this like Indiana Jones, Uncharted, Tomb Raider sort of theme where
I got you with that. I feel it.
ancient treasure, ancient technology being brought into the modern world. This shit is just so fucking raw, man. Like you don't really get to see that at all in modern fiction.
Bro, that you're right on that, bro. And the fact that like the Stone Mask, it was just there and they used it immediately, and it just fucking brought up the bizarre element of the series. Like basically immediately, this nigga turned to a vampire at the beginning, and then it was fucking elaborated on in part 2. Like caused the civilization created the mask for his people, and I thought that shit was fire, man.
I agree. I mean, we could kind of run you through everything quick because I'm legitimately about you came up to the legitimate end. That was the last
Oh
time.
god damn.
We've been here for like 2 hours, you know.
Yeah, it has. I looked at the fucking link and I saw that should be going on for 2 hours. God damn.
Yeah, but well, first of all, we'll just say this: like, how do you feel about Stardust Crusaders in general, like the part 2?
Bro, I really like Stardust Crusaders, man. I think it's the part where the battle element of it was properly explored, because them niggas went through a lot of shit in that in part 3. So I completely enjoyed it, and stands everything. The creative side of Iraqi, and like shit like when they went to Pakistan and they said Assalamu alaikum, like it just showed that this nigga knows everything about the world. And I was like, he knows about cultures and shit. And where they went to places, I actually want to visit this place in India called Varanasi. You know that place with all the boats and shit in India, like in part 3. Bro, I might go visit that place because that shit look fire, man. And someone was telling me about it. Bro, that nigga be showing me places now I'm gonna be trying to go to and shit, man. God damn. I really did enjoy part 3, man.
Yeah. How do you feel about Jotaro, like the character himself? You like him, you not like it? Because he's kind of, some people think he's boring, a little too story. What do you think?
And the thing for me is, he fit Jotaro his purpose. He was there mostly for battle purposes and tried to get him out of the trouble. Whereas Joseph and Polnareff was more the personality part. So they dealt with like the comedic side of and the goofy side of the shit, which was all cool. And Jotaro beat the crap out of niggas. So and I understand what he was trying to do there, because like it was always gonna be tough following Joseph Joestar, who in my opinion is the greatest JoJo. So like he had it tough to begin with, but he did his job. And the final battle, it just showed like that he's an elite guy and he shouldn't be fucked with, man.
I mean, yeah, that fight's iconic. But I mean, since you brought up Joseph, he's your favorite. How do you feel about how he was, all Joseph was handled in part 3? Did you like him? A lot of people seem to not like him much in part 3. They can mishandle.
Now you know what? That's a very good point, because I would have liked it if, like, you know how Jotaro went to part 4 and he was still relatively in his prime. He was like in his 30s or some shit, or maybe 40s. I don't know. He was still fine, and he still beat the crap out of Kira. I would have liked for him to be in his like 30s and 40s instead of 60s, I think, or 50s, whatever he was in Stardust Crusaders, because I feel as if he could have like beat up some villains or some shit, or done something raw in part 3. So but But the fact that he was old and he was saying shit like, "Oh my god," and what the fuck, like all of this shit, bro. He was the GOAT. Like I find that shit hilarious. So, like, I'm happy and I'm unhappy. If you know what I mean. Like I'm good with him being old. Like I understand it, but at the same time, it would have been dope as a middle-aged man. He would have been dope.
I think like for us, what we said basically was we don't like I don't have a problem with him being older. It was just that like he was always being smart, using lessons more. And I just thought that they didn't kind of show off how clever he was too much in part 3, where we're like, we like his character, we like his comic relief. We thought from the actual battle portion, Joseph needed more to do.
Now I agree completely because, like you said before, they made him kind of seem like a dumbass in part 3, as if he lost his intelligence from part 2. But this nigga was a genius and he was aloof as fuck in part 3. I was like, what happened, bro? Like, did fucking a bitch take your intelligence away or some shit, bro? Like, what happened to you, nigga? Like, nigga had a grandchild, like, he had a kid and then he had a grandchild, and nigga just became dumber every generation or some shit. They're like, the fuck, bro? Bruh, by the time we got to like part 4, this nigga was just, bruh, it's like he had Alzheimer's or some shit, bro. Nigga was gone, bruh. This nigga was gone, bruh. That nigga was not Joseph Joestar in part 4, bro. That was a different nigga, man. God damn, bro.
Yeah, man. You're retired, though. You're tired, bro. You're tired.
Niggas retired. He had one last dance, like in his 60s, like with his broad, like fucking Josuke's mom, and he was like, "Yeah, after this, I'm gonna become a retard and only see my fucking son."
How do you like the Stardust Crusaders to like the supporting cast? Iggy, Kyakuin, Polnareff, Abdul. How you like?
Bro, Polnareff is a dog, bro. He's one of my favorite supporting characters.
Hey, yes, let's go.
Bro, Polnareff is comedy gold, bro. Like you said, Silver Chariot, that's a dope ass stand too, bro. His fight was with Anubis is high key underrated. I thought that was a dope ass fight, like that encounter. And then when Anubis took him over, and I think Jotaro had to fight him, I thought that shit was raw, bro. In part 3 with Anubis, and then they had to bury Anubis, I think, in the ocean or some shit. Like nigga disappeared in the end because they couldn't beat him. Bro, I thought that shit was fire.
It's actually a really good stab, man. Especially like how you see how fast Polnareff really is.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Plus, like, he's just naturally a charismatic / funny character, bro. That episode when he became a baby, bro, and he was taking advantage of the showers, that was the GOAT. I was dying, man. I was dying, bro. Nigga was there with like an Egyptian broad, do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. Like, he's an adult in the kid's body, bro. Which nigga would have won that for like 24 hours? Like, oh, okay, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, nigga was in heaven, bro.
Like, he was chilling. I'm just a kid.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm a suck your titty because I'm a kid. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
What about Dio? How do you feel that he's like how he was? Like, how do you think he changed or didn't change from part 1 from Phantom Blood? Like,
I think Dio in part 1 was basically a maniac. Like the nigga was crazy and he was drunk with power, and then he couldn't even fathom the fact that he could possibly lose. But in part 3, I believe he learned his lesson to an extent where he laid back and let his minions do the work, and then in the end, like, when he showed up with the world, I was like, oh my god, but this nigga's broken as fuck. He's stuffing time and shit. Like, the way Polnareff was spooked, bro. I was like, oh fuck. And then that nigga killed Kakyoin, bro. That was a legendary sacrifice, though, Kakyoin, bro. Nigga sacrificed himself just to show them, like, what his ability is. And even then, it took them a little bit to fucking understand, like, nigga.
I feel like Joseph should have figured that out a little quick, but he got it, though. I feel you. He got it. It took him a while.
He got it eventually. He was in the process of becoming a retard, but he wasn't a full retard yet. Like, nigga was transforming. He was transforming. He didn't reach his final form, aka part 4. Like, he was there. So, like, and then in the end, I feel as if he went back to his old ways. Like, he was a bit maniacal. He assumed that he couldn't lose, and then he instead of ensuring that Jotaro was dead, he kind of gave him a chance to. Jotaro's a genius, so he'll find a way to win or something. Cause he basically took all of fucking Joseph's intelligence as Joseph was becoming a retard. So he found a way to win. Like, but I feel as if like if he had stayed to his character how he was portrayed in part 3, he would have ensured that that nigga died. Like, I believe he became arrogant in the end and reverted to his part 1 self because he stopped time for 10 seconds. Nigga thought he was like unbeatable. He was like, fuck, nothing could touch me. Like,
Yeah.
so
He got drunk with power.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he reverted to his part 1 self for that moment, that specific moment, which I thought was raw.
Were you upset that he didn't get to use his other vampire abilities? Because I think a lot of people didn't realize that he's much weaker. In terms of just being a pure vampire, he's not as strong as he was because he's not a full vampire. And Jonathan's body is kind of rejecting him. He isn't fully God under his control. So he can't use the freezing finger and shit.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point. But when he absorbed Joseph's blood, was that not like his perfect form?
It's hard. It's kind of hard to say because it's one of those things where it's like they probably resonated with Jonathan's body, but at the end of the day, his head is still vampiric, and it's like you're in a Hamon user's body. Like that's not the brightest thing I've seen him do. He's more out of like it's a destiny faith kind of thing, not more so that's like it's probably not the best idea because but will kill me.
But then again. Go on, bro. What you saying?
I was gonna say that, but you can see that his ability to heal is much weaker because in part 1, with any other vampire we've seen, right? Even think Straits got shot up and blown up and just reformed himself. Yes, it took energy, but Dio needed that lady to bring his leg to him so he could reattach it, then suck her blood so he could heal himself. He's not as powerful.
Yeah, like you said, it's because at the time it was only his head that was a vampire. The rest of his body was basically human, so he needed to do some other shit to try and survive. So that like sucked people's blood and shit. Like, but I don't. After he absorbed Joseph's blood, I believe he kind of became his perfect form to an extent. Like nigga's whole color scheme changed this shit. His hairstyle changed too, which I don't fucking understand, bro. Nigga absorbed fucking Joseph's blood and his hair became spiky and shit, bro. Like he became a Super Saiyan. Like nigga's whole aura changed, bro. I was like, oh my god, I was so fucking gassed, man.
Yeah, I hate it had to be my man's, but I mean that was wrong.
It was wrong, bro. His hair became spiky and shit. The aura, and he has some green ass lips, bro. I love it when they change the colors in JoJo, man. I think that shit's super creative, man. David Productions are GOAT, man.
Yeah, they're good at actually the fact that he likes to play with all the color schemes on his walk spreads and chapter title things. He just all of a sudden Emerald Splash. I'm like, but it's purple.
You're like, oh, this is illogical, but it is kind of wrong.
Definitely not emerald anymore. It's not green, but it's so raw. But the last thing I'll ask you before we head out is basically, so when it comes to the 3 first parts, which is the Stone Mask Saga, in terms of story, characters, themes, and how each part flow into one another, do you think it was a seamless flow, or did it feel disjointed to you?
I believe from part 1 to part 4, I believe everything flowed very smoothly, from introducing Harmon and then going into stands, and then going from son to grandson to the actual son of Joseph Joestar. I thought everything made sense to that point, but from part 5, because it's kind of apart from Kochi coming to Italy and then later
real quick, we're keeping it anime friendly. So don't go into great spoilers. Don't go into spoilers past anime part 5.
Okay. Yeah. Kochi appeared at the start though, didn't he? Kochi. So
yeah. I'm just saying, just in case we're gonna go there.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Apart from Kochi appearing up so far up to part 5, I don't feel as if it's properly linked. It's kind of different part 5 from everything that happened prior. It's as if it was the beginning of a new story. So that kind of felt that wasn't as smooth as the other parts, but at the same time I still really liked it.
What about 1, 2, and 3 specifically for the Stone Mask stuff? You think they were properly connected?
Yeah, I thought the Stone Mask stuff was amazingly collected in terms of how the Stone Mask was introduced in part 1, and then in part 2 the story of the Stone Mask was explained because Kars created it for his people so they could become immortal, and how they were how his people were sealed up and etc. I thought everything up to that point made sense. And then obviously Dio himself came back in part 3, who was still part vampire, so the whole vampire theme from part 1 to part 3 was all seamless. And then the arrow in part 4 with that's how we found out that the stands were born from the arrow, which was explained in part 4. I thought things like that, everything from part 1 to 4 moved very smoothly. So I thought the writing from the writing perspective of part 1 to 4 was seamless. What do you think about that?
Well, I can say with the stand arrow arcs, whatever you want to call it, 4, 5, and 6. There's a little bit of more disconnect, a little more disjoint. I agree with you from like at least from 5 to 6. From that, there's some little things that carry over, but I feel like 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 are a much more cohesive story because so many things carry on and so many characters still kind of bleed into the other part because Jotaro's in 4, Joseph's in 4. You got Joseph from 2 to thing. You got Speedwagon from 1 to 2. Speedwagon Foundation is a thing that stays around. So even though Speedwagon's not there, his legacy and what he left behind was there. So,
Speedwagon for MVP, man. Speedwagon for MVP. Man.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm meeting people who put respect. People be trying to talk Speedwagon the GOAT.
Bro, Speedwagon's a goddamn dog, bro. No nigga could attack Speedwagon, bro. That nigga held it down from trying to kill Jonathan to fucking being elite like his dog.
My sister hates Speedwagon.
Nah,
He's so useless. All you got to tussle. I'm like, I don't know. I think I needed the exposition. I needed it. Like, no, it's horrible. His fingers are in my head.
Bro.
Like Simmy said last time, even if it's on him, he's still commentating.
Bro, I love Speedwagon's commentary, bro. It's elite, man. That nigga just talking in the back, like just said, "Oh my god, like we're supposed to fucking run in some shit, but we're not gonna run." He says something contradictory, and I just start laughing, bro. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like that nigga's legacy is elite, man. His legacy is elite, and that just shows like real man friend. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you have to fight a nigga before you dogs, like you boys. Like when you're a kid, you fight a nigga, the next day you boys. That's exactly what Speedwagon and Jonathan were. Like he beat the crap out of him basically, and they were homies after that, and he had him for generations after that.
Yeah. Respect Speedwagon. Yeah.